Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins, along with my brother Brent, we appreciate all the loving words that have been coming in over the past week. It's been a tough time for us, but Dad wouldn't have wanted us to stop to get to disclosure, so let's get to it right now. We're looking at something via Google Earth of something that stands out like a sore thumb. Are we looking at some kind of UFO crash on this mountaintop? Or are we looking at something that could be explained? Right now, we're going to try and get close looks. It's the first time that I've seen this on Third Phase of Moon. I think it's going to be the first time you're seeing this anomaly up on the hilltop. Brent, what do you make of this?
Yeah, Blake, this one just came in earlier this afternoon, and we're saying we got to post this, especially share the coordinates. And there it is right at the bottom. We could all look at this together. Again, this is intriguing because we're looking at something that really resembles what happened in 1947. So again, this is recent footage right there in New Mexico, captured on Google Earth. And look at this region. We're looking at it. We do a big pan out, and you can see the entire region is basically isolated from any roads or anything. This is basically something in the middle of nowhere. We're getting some measurements now, and this really resembles an unidentified flying saucer that crashed in the side of the mountain there.
Yeah, it's interesting, as well as the measurements. It was about 10 meters. I'd say that's approximately about 29 feet or so, just give or take. But again, what is it doing up on top of this hilltop? I don't think it's some kind of a broken down water tower. I don't see any roads leading into this area. It seems that it's in a very rural area and no hiking trails or anything that I'm noticing. So this thing basically looks like it just fell out of the sky, and this thing's about 30 feet in diameter, and you can see some kind of debris tail pile behind it, almost like you can see kind of it like it skidded into the mountaintop over there. And you make out these kind of designs on top of, if this is indeed a craft. Again, no indication that it was taken up there by car or hiked up there by humans. This thing, again, I'm thinking that it just fell out of the sky or came down, a crash straight out of 1947 Roswell. If anybody knows these exact coordinates, maybe we could set up some kind of expedition. We've got the X marks the spot. What's it going to take to just get out there and confirm one way or the other what it is? Maybe it's on private property. We're going to do some research. It looks pretty heavy duty, the terrain there. The terrain looks very, very harsh, so it could be a dangerous expedition, but who knows? Maybe there's some evidence, and maybe Google Earth will scrub this imagery out tomorrow. So make sure you save this video, and we'll see what Google Earth does about this imagery in the next coming days. Now, more UFO videos into Third Phase of Moon. Are we looking at some kind of new laser technology up in the neighborhood during a lightning storm? This is very ominous. If this is some kind of weaponized action up in the sky, it has a very scary feeling to me here.
Yeah, look at that. There's a pull-out shot, and we're seeing something apparently floating in the sky with a laser pointing around the whole neighborhood, as it seems like it's scanning it.
Yeah, it could be some kind of drone propped up with some kind of laser, but again, this is some powerful laser. I'm pretty sure the FAA wouldn't let this out to commercial drone pilots. This is high powered, and if you're looking directly at it right there, it looks like it's pointing directly into the camera. It could be quite dangerous. Again, is this some kind of UAP, some military drone up in the sky? I'm not saying this is ET by any means. I'm thinking this is one of ours.
Yeah, definitely. You're right on the button there. It looks like a military or some sort of new technology, maybe something in the private hands of a private company testing its new technology. But in my observation of this, again, it looks like it just hit the camera. That's pretty wild. But looking at this, it looks like it's stalking, and it kind of catches my interest in a bad way. It's like, what the hell's going on over our neighborhoods?
Yeah, I'm glad the person had the right mind to pull out their camera and share this on social media to get the word out. And maybe other people around the world or in the United States has experienced this kind of stuff over their neighborhoods. So definitely have your cameras ready if you see this kind of phenomenon. Look, we're always looking for just strange things in the skies, whether it's ET, secret government programs, reverse engineered programs. I think we're looking at something right now that is within our assets, but it has some kind of nefarious intent behind it. This isn't your typical drone, in my opinion. Now, like we said, we've got a lot of UFO videos right here in Third Phase of Moon, so we're going to get to it right now. Let's roll the next one. This one's quite interesting. We're looking at this a little earlier, and we're scratching our heads, wondering what the heck is it. Take a look. So once again, we're looking at something in the sky with some kind of projection of a bright beam of light. We see two lights within its beam. Or is this some kind of UFO tracking two other UFOs underneath it? It's just really bizarre. I don't think this is some kind of helicopter with a spotlight or a drone. We're looking at something that once again seems that there's some kind of almost extraterrestrial activity in this case. This one's over, again, a major city. A lot of people must have seen this. There must be more videos out. I'm rolling this to be authentic, but again, you see within the beam of light these two illuminated objects, and then you see the beam just kind of switch towards the camera, and then these objects kind of dissipate from view once the light is not reflecting off these two orbs, these craft in the sky. So we have 3 UFOs right there.
Yeah, like this is a pretty badass footage. Look at that, the dispersion of light. It just seems like it just gassed out, and either the light moved away or there's some sort of like propulsion behind it that kind of blew everything kind of up into a dispersion of light. And then we're looking at those bright objects, at this beam of light being projected onto it. Two objects in the sky, including the bright one that just does this amazing dispersion of light. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, some people might claim that this is an Elon Musk rocket, or maybe some helicopter again with its searchlights on, but I don't think so. I'm not seeing any kind of craft, any kind of FAA lights. It's just a very illuminated bright orb dispersing, like you say, a very bright beam of light, and these two other objects being caught within the spectrum. What the heck is going on over this major city? I'm hoping more videos come in from this area. Definitely, I think a lot of people saw this, and there's something very strange going on over there. Now, a lot more videos just into Third Phase of Moon. Let's roll the next one right now, guys. Take a look at this. We showed it to you earlier this year, and again, we thought we should bring it up. It's in the Third Phase of Moon archives of this green plasmic ball of light immersed in the clouds, shooting down this very tight spectrum, a laser beam. But then again, what kind of source of energy hidden within the cloud layer there is projecting this? That's the question. Caught by someone driving at the same time, pulled out their camera, witnessed something very special, and decided to start filming, and we're looking at it right now.
Yeah, this is a good example of 2 videos with these, again, bright spectrums of light shooting either up or down. We don't know, looking at this one, is the light coming up from the clouds itself, shooting a beam down towards the ground, or is there something else, maybe something on the ground? Obviously, maybe projecting something up into the sky, illuminating the clouds. But this is new technology. People are shooting this with their cameras and sharing it to us right here at Third Phase of Moon, and I'm glad you're all here with us watching this and kind of looking at our future. What's going on?
Yeah, as we're looking at this all together, we could all speculate what it is, and Brian, I think you brought up a couple good points. If we could make sure what source of light, of the source of it, if it's beaming up into the clouds from the surface, or is it from the atmosphere? hidden within that cloud layer some kind of craft beaming down, whatever it is. It's just, again, very bizarre stuff going on around our planet in these times. So we wanted to bring up a kind of a side-by-side comparison of what we have in the archives of what just happened earlier this week. There's some strange, bizarre stuff going on. That's the truth, and it kind of blows us away. It's just amazing what is happening over our skies on a 24/7 basis. Like I said, we got a lot of UFO videos. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you leave some comments with regards to what you're seeing tonight. Now check this out. Brent, you were the one that brought this to my attention today. We're looking at it pretty closely. At first I thought maybe it could be the sun or the moon back there, but after we're getting a close look at this, you see two orbs kind of transition into one, make some peculiar maneuvers, an amazing display of light in the sky. We're looking at something very bizarre here.
Yeah, this one's really good. We're looking at it, either it's in the early morning or late evening. Something's falling out of the sky, and it's being illuminated. It's illuminating the clouds around it. And I thought maybe just a rocket coming in, like an Elon Musk rocket. But then we start to see the appearance of these orbs that just attach itself to the one, and then it becomes a singular and starts moving from left to right. This is incredible footage. We're going to get some more close-ups and detail on this, but we're glad we're sharing this one.
Yeah, I like it when they merge together. Here's a close-up that Brent was talking about. Again, look very closely. They just merge together, singularity, and then project some kind of beam. It kind of elongates. It's hard to tell what's going on, but this is spectacular. Now let's get to the next video, into Third Phase of Moon. Are we looking at some kind of spiritual walking apparition on top of a cloud lining layer up in the sky? Again, wild stuff happening right now. Okay, let's get a little closer look. I'm going to get the original. We're going to put it to the left. I'm going to blow up the image to the right so we could get a closer look. But this thing lasts for quite some time. Could it be some just natural weather phenomenon? Or are we looking at something supernatural up in the sky? Maybe some kind of a biblical, spiritual kind of thing. I don't know. Look at this. We're looking at it very closely. Again, I don't see any kind of manipulation. What we're looking at, it's up there. It's in real time. It's a pretty windy day. And this person noticed something very strange and managed to capture something quite peculiar. Look at this.
Yeah, it's just some sort of weather phenomenon, and we're putting a pareidolia in there, thinking that there's maybe a man walking up in the clouds. It could be all of that, but it's very cool and exciting footage, and I'm glad we're sharing this, especially when we get the close-up. You see it right there as this cloud moves from left to right, and then it just kind of fades away as the time goes by. This is like a 20-second event, and he's managed to catch this on camera. This is pretty good.
Yeah, are we living in some kind of matrix here? Again, look at it. It just dissipates like a regular cloud, but at one point you could see the humanoid figure, and I would say it was at least 50 feet in length. This thing's off at some distance, and sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time. Maybe it's just pareidolia. I don't know. But again, you cannot deny what we're looking at is very strange. Look, it's like a man walking on the clouds. Wow, incredible stuff right here at Third Phase Moon. And again, we've got a lot of videos that we're sharing in tonight's episode. So let's bring up the next one and leave your comments right now what you think of this weather. If this is a weather phenomenon, something natural, or something paranormal or ET in nature. Let's just hear your comments right now. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Now, let's get to the next one. Coming into Third Phase of Moon, take a look at this. More UFO videos from around the world. I love these doorbell cams. The security and the definition of these doorbell cams are just getting better and better. Did you see those two objects just come in? It seems from behind the mountains, come in one way. Look at this, a side-by-side tandem display of aerial phenomenon. Incredible stuff. Are we looking at maybe just bugs that were captured on the camera lens? I don't think so. I've seen a lot of doorbell footage, and a lot we just don't share because it's just not doing it too much for me. I'm thinking these are obviously bugs, but I'm looking at this one and I'm not seeing anything that I could compare this video to. It looks like there's craft in the sky, and this doorbell ring cam managed to capture something quite amazing. Look at this aerial display here. It seems to go on for quite some time.
Yeah, look at that sharp angle. It's dropping down, and then it just takes a complete stop, and then banks right there. And they're tandem. Bugs don't move in this order of this like perfection. Look, they both do it at the same time. Maybe could this be a lens distortion? Maybe a double lens making it project something on the screen as a duality. But if that's not the case, we're looking at something that's in tandem, as if they're dancing and creating these amazing maneuvers that, if these are vehicles in the sky, basically are defying the law of physics. Look at this. We have 4 different craft, and I'm looking at the tails behind them. That they're slightly different from one another. They're not exactly the same. So this unison of flight pattern is quite incredible. It rivals the technology by our best fighter pilots. But again, the sequence of events that has happened on this doorbell cam is just astonishing. Look at this. And again, you see slight differences between one another. So I don't think we're seeing a mirror effect. I think we're looking at 2 different objects. It's just mind-boggling. I'm looking at it, I'm trying to wrap my head around what we're actually observing here, and I don't have any explanations at the moment. Yeah, looking at this, again, I've seen the phenomenon like this before, but this one's a little different. I'm trying to understand, are these lights coming up from beyond the mountainside, or is it coming up from before it, or even these bushes down at the bottom? Let's look at this. And then we'll get a closer look on this. Is it blending in? I'm just trying to look at how far these things may be from the camera itself, or they could be quite close. The other footage that we shared before, I believe, did come from behind the mountain, so it creates a big scale, and you could do math here. There we go.
Yeah, I'm looking at that one. Came in front of the mountainside there, so it's kind of popping out of the neighborhood. But again, the difference between the tail's signature of light, they're different from one another. They're in unison and tandem, but then again, in my opinion, they're 2 different crafts. So quite incredible stuff here. Now we're looking at multiple objects dancing in the sky. Insane stuff right here at Third Phase Moon. Look at this. All right, you may have noticed the thumbnail. Are there 100-foot human giants among us? I don't know. This video came into Third Phase of Moon earlier today. It was uploaded by a TikTok user, And we're going to look at it right now. Take a look.
Tem cara gigante ali, ó.
Fala assim, ó,
Cara do tamanho da
o pôr do sol não apareceu, mas apareceu um gigante lá no pôr do
Cara do
sol.
tamanho da árvore, galera.
Ó, o pôr do sol não apareceu, mas apareceu
Olha,
um
olha
gigante.
aqui. Olha aqui embaixo o tamanho dos caras, ó. Olha o tamanho do pessoal.
Olha o cara, olha o cara. Olha lá, o pôr do sol não apareceu, mas apareceu um gigante. Olha lá, vai. Cadê ele? Vai mais pra sair. Cadê ele? Oh, achei que eu tava maluco. Eu também achei, cara. Filmei.
Peraí, Soro, tira o chão, Soro.
Eu quero maior que a árvore. Eles acham que tem gongor, que lá não tem cabelo.
Olha lá, ele tá voltando, olha lá. Tamanho da árvore, ó.
All right, well, let's roll this once again. I'm getting a closer look, and it's kind of interesting. It's just very clever. If this is a hoax, they did it very well. Everything just locks in. But obviously, this is just too good to be true. This clear footage, seemingly 100-foot man behind the trees up on top of the mountain, but everything kind of looks legitimate to me here. So are we looking at something spectacular, something unbelievable? Look at this.
Yeah, I like this because it's just so fantastic. But let's observe it. When the camera pulls back, I see a lot of the crowd not really taking any notice to this obvious giant up on the hilltop. There's one person that points to maybe this 100-foot man, but could he be in on the hoax? Looking at it, the camera, everything, the way it pulls back, and if this is done, it's done really well if this is indeed a hoax.
Take a look at this. Right, we're going to get a closer look at this daytime sighting of what is the typical flying saucer, and let me tell you, we've got a lot of them for you tonight. It's been crazy this whole week, this month, about broad daylight flying saucers captured around the world, but we're going to look at what happened just this week. Multiple cameras, multiple eyewitnesses. The videos just keep coming in, so we're going to be looking at some of this stuff tonight, and buckle up for that. What do you guys make of it? We're looking at this still pause photo of the video itself. You make it out anything here, Brett?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And then let's just move the video as it traverses over the sky. This is a good vantage point. You could see the person off from some distance and then zoom in, and you see this classic flying saucer that we've been seeing throughout the years in this region of South America. What's going on, Dr. J?
This is fantastic footage. First of all, it's not very rounded on the top. If you notice, it's a little more pointed, which kind of reminds me of the...
Wait, and we're dropping this new one right now, the close-up second angle of what's going on. Go ahead, John.
Well, I was saying this is a little more pointed instead of rounded on the top, and it reminds me of what Michael Herrera said that he saw was an ARV with Black Ops soldiers. At the same time, this also looks like a craft with beings inside that people saw in Papua New Guinea in the 50s. This is awesome footage.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, these like kind of top-shaped ones that are very pointed on the top and the bottom here. I know we get a lot of these in, especially from Mexico and that part of the world. So I'm wondering, you know, why that is.
You know, it's a good question. What I'm thinking is the military over there in South America doesn't even rival anything comparatively to our Air Force, Navy. So I think they have a free ride over there. These UFOs don't have any surveillance from military aircraft. They just could run out and be out there and being captured on film everywhere. Here's another one that was just captured within a few days. It's just happening incredibly consistent down in this region.
Yeah, that's what I like about these videos that continuously come into Thirdphaseofmoon. It's pretty cool. And what we got here, again, is the newest footage that's coming to us on the planet. So thank you for joining us right now. Give us a big thumbs up for sharing the newest UFO videos that comes in. Again, Dr. J, we're looking at this disc-like object, just hovering in the sky as it goes behind the power lines. This is 100% legitimate footage. What's going on here?
This is actually one of my favorites from tonight. This is up close and personal. I mean, you could see the details literally all over this craft. And what I think it's actually doing, like you said, behind the power lines, very low to the ground, very slow. It's almost as if it's looking for something. Is it looking at plant life? Is it looking to take some creatures, including humans? I always say this, when you see a craft, generally they're going to or coming from an abduction. So whether it's that or some other scientific experiment, it looks like it's definitely searching.
Yeah, I think what's fascinating about this one is that it's hovering so slowly down to the ground. I mean, I'm wondering how many people actually caught footage of this. Basically like the parallax with the power lines, that's very interesting as well. So I think this one is definitely something.
As we watch the videos that are coming in, we could compare the size, the comparison. They all seem like it's almost the same craft to me, which is interesting. And again, no means of propulsion. Some of them move in a way that just seemingly seems that it's defying the laws of physics. We're not saying that it is. Somebody cracked the code, something cracked the code. And again, we're bringing up some footage that was captured earlier this month in the same region of the same craft. We're going to get some good close-ups, and you can see the aerodynamics of this thing. I bet you this design is built for speed. If it just has that kind of sleek design, right, John?
Absolutely, and I think that's what makes them able to be transmedium, where they can go in space, they can go in the atmosphere of the sky, and crazier in the atmosphere of the water, and still go supersonic speeds.
Yeah, that was a good close-up right there. And here's another example of these kind of, like this one doesn't exactly match what we just seen earlier that happened this week. This is a vintage shot that we've been seeing circulate on the net, and we wanted to pull it up. They come in all shapes and sizes. This one's very unique. It looks solid. It looks like it's made out of stainless steel.
Yeah, what I think is really fascinating about this one is this part at the bottom here that is protruding. It almost looks like maybe it's some sort of rotating anti-gravity magnetic kind of device. Oh, but check this out. Check this out. This is pretty wild.
No sé. Háblale.
Look at this next footage that we're looking at right here. What is this? A pillar of light in the sky, but when it gets close up, you actually see it's fuzzy. So I don't think it's a light. I think we're actually possibly looking at a portal. Now, the reason I don't think this is a craft is if the craft is there, where is it? Unless it's hidden. This is probably like a tear into another dimension, or I don't think this is a laser beam coming down from the sky or coming down from the bottom, because it's literally in the air.
As I'm looking at it a little closer, it almost seems that there is some kind of tear or a rip in the night sky, revealing this really bright illuminated scene. This is just straight up science fiction, but this isn't the science fiction. We're looking at something that's authentic here. This is kind of crazy right now.
Yeah, this one's a good one. You can see it just hovering over the city as we see this like purplish hueish light just kind of extrude from the center of this apparent tear in the sky. Could this be some new drone technology that they're testing out there? But when you get this super close up, you don't see anything kind of moving or bobbling. It seems just to be like this center placement just up there as a tear in the sky. This is pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, what I'm noticing is that it doesn't seem to be moving. It seems to be very kind of stationary. It definitely looks like a tear into another dimension that's peeking through. But honestly, what I think this might actually be is 4D hologram technology being tested out. Project Bluebeam type technology. I think that makes the most sense to me.
You know, anybody's guess is as good as ours. We're showing you the footage. Guys, I want to get your comments in this live premiere right now. It really means a lot. Now, let's get to the next video. And like I said, we've got a lot of them for you tonight. A plethora of UFOs over the coastline. This has been making the rounds. People asked us our thoughts. Dr. J, yours, is this some kind of fleet of UFOs?
You took the word right out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say, a fleet. And I'll tell you why it's probably extraterrestrial. ARVs, we don't test stuff with massive fleets. Usually when people talk about an ARV, when they see humans aboard or humans near it, like Michael Herrera, they usually see one, maybe two. You don't see 15 things clustered together. And generally when you do, you could safely assume it's probably not from this dimension or this time or this planet.
Yeah, well said there, Dr. J. We're pulling up what we just received a couple days ago, and here it is, the fleet of lights over the ocean, basically in the same region. And then we have a comparison that happened maybe about 4 or 5 years ago that we match up pretty much in the same area. Like, I'm going to throw it out there. People see things that we just don't know what they are, but I'm just going to say, could these be maybe military flares dropped off in the distance? I'm not seeing them drop.
Yeah, you know, in the last video, I was wondering if maybe it was a ship out in the ocean, you know, really far off. But this one here, it definitely looks like a fleet of UFOs. And what I think is interesting about is they all seem to be sort of pulsing at the same time, all the lights together. So I don't know, it almost seems like they're in unison, but they're not flying around.
Yep, and even right now, more videos coming in. Some people might dub this the Jellyfish UFO. Take a look. We've been talking about biological UFOs. Could they be living organisms that are the culprit behind the phenomenon? Dr. J, your thoughts on that?
You know, the jellyfish is something rare, fairly new, and it first appeared, as everyone knows from the footage released by the DoD, over a military zone in the Middle East. Now, what we know is these things are attracted to conflict. Some people say it's because the most interesting thing we do. Did this all of a sudden open up another species to come visit us? Because these things are not very aerodynamic in any way, but they're being seen all around the world now.
Yeah, it almost looks like the Imperial probe droid in Hoth over there in Empire Strikes Back. It's really weird. And this thing, when you get a close-up, the dome of it looks metallic, and you have these kind of legs or protrusions sticking out at the bottom. Almost, it looks weaponized.
Yeah, you know, I'm wondering what function these sort of tentacles under them may play and, you know, what it is. I mean, it definitely looks like a metallic dish-shaped object at the top, but then you see these things hanging down, and, you know, I'm wondering if maybe it has some sort of purpose that keeps it airborne.
You know, it's interesting. Even Michael Stratt speaks of these appendages that are attached to these UFOs in historical files and cases. And again, the more videos coming in right now.
I am zoomed in, man. Shit is pulsating and electrifying. That shit went into the clouds. It went up into the clouds. Yo, I swear to you, G. Yo, boy. It disappeared in the clouds.
So, you know, that video, it was a little low res. It's a little shaky, obviously, but we're going to do some enhancements here. You could hear it in the guy's voice. He's shocked. He's describing something that's electrified, and it's rising into the cloud layer, and we're looking at it even closer now, and it almost looks to me that there's a sequence of electrical currents running around this black cigar-shaped craft, and it's high up there. You could almost see it intermingling in the cloud layer after we're adding some enhancements here, Brent.
Yeah, Blake, I was going to say the video definitely, it's a little soft, but when you do pull up the enhancements, I'm seeing a lot of detail here, and I'm really digging this. We're seeing this black cigar object, like you said, with this illumination of bluish sparkling of static electricity. This is wild. The close-up is great. John?
Well, first of all, I want to say I love this footage because a lot of people have seen things going in and out of clouds. It reminds me of this 90 footage over Mexico where you see a craft going in, coming back out, and going back in. I have it under good authority that when there's cloud activity, a lot of it, there's lots of UFO activity going on above because it's blocking it. Now, with regards to the electrical pulses around that, is it possible these are storm clouds and this craft is getting energy from the electricity?
I think that's a very fascinating point, John. I think that's definitely possible. You know, you kind of see these flashes of light pulsing around it, and it really seems to be very static. But I don't think this really looks to me very much like the usual cigar-shaped craft you normally see. You know, normally they're usually metallic. This seems to be darker, almost like black. So I think that's definitely very interesting.
No, when we're looking at this, and again, we see these bolts of electricity surrounding this dark cigar-shaped craft. And again, yeah, it almost just looks like a shadow. And then you see this kind of crazy static electricity surrounding the whole of the craft. The propulsion on this is just wild, in my opinion, and unexplained. That's why we're sharing it with you right now in Third Phase. And we're looking at more unexplained stuff coming in. And it's something. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's possible weather phenomenon. The greenish hue is what's interesting to me, and it's not moving. It's not coming down. At first, I thought it was maybe a meteorite or a meteor, but then it's not. It's just stationary. It's very bizarre here.
Yeah, you know what this is actually making me think of is the news story that's come out recently, just in the last few days, about the balls of plasma that have been discovered by Chinese scientists over the pyramids in Giza. I mean, apparently there's just these balls of plasma that are just kind of hanging around in the sky, and you know, it's sort of a phenomenon. So I think this kind of brings that to mind for me.
Yeah, I'm digging this one too, because we're looking at it, and this took place for quite some time. I could have thought maybe it's approaching lights from, again, maybe a commercial airliner. We see this kind of video sent to us all the time, but this thing's not descending. It just seems to be static, stationary in that position, and it stays there for quite some time as the sun's going down. John?
Well, I first thought it was stationary too. I thought, is this a helicopter shining a spotlight at us? But when you look at it closely, it's ultra bright, but the light seems to be more on one side, and you can't really tell the shape, so it's not a spotlight at us. I thought too it was stationary, but if you look very closely at the tree underneath, this thing is traveling like 2 miles an hour to the right side.
Yeah, it's just hanging there, barely moving, and it seems very eerie with the green glow. I like the way the person who captured this seems to have been driving alongside this kind of desolate area. Well, I see a little traffic to the left, pulls over and manages to capture something that's quite incredible. He must have noticed something in the sky, and that's what it's all about. People like you around the world, if you notice anything crazy, just pull that camera out and film it until it leaves, and do your best, have a steady hand, and upload that video to YouTube and copy paste it to my email, and we'll share your videos to the world. Watch this.
Y se queda ahí todavía está corriendo el reloj de la cámara, se está grabando, mira, se mira como dos cabezas, pues dos personas se mira ahí atravesadas a la misma vez, que tienen como una lámpara, a lo mejor es una pareja, pero no sé, a veces empieza a mover y la cámara ya no lo graba muy bien, pero a veces mira que se está yendo por aquí.
All right, we're going to get some translation for what you've just heard, and we're going to go over incredible detail of what was captured. Are we looking at something that is unlikely something common? We're looking at something unordinary, something paranormal? I don't know. Let's just start it up right now.
Yeah, this one is really wild. I mean, basically what you're seeing here, I mean, this right here, it looks like it's like almost two people. But what's crazy is before this, you see this light come in, right? And it's like, it looks like a ball of light. It comes in, comes zooming in, and then it sort of appears and transforms it into a person. And then it looks like it splits into two people and then walks away and kind of appears and disappears as it's walking away. And so here you see the light coming up. And obviously this is on security camera footage. You can tell that someone is filming their screen. So this seems really legit to me.
I can see right as soon as the light kind of just stops, these apparent two characters appear right there on the security cam footage. Could this be some sort of artifacting within the lens? Right there, you just see that person or whomever move away, and you see that little flashlight. Could this just be, again, a flash of a flashlight walking through the fields, creating this effect?
I'm not sure. I'm just looking at it, and look, just the couple, or if they were two people, just disappeared once again and reappeared. I'm not sure about just a flashlight creating that kind of effect. It just seems very bizarre here. Dr. J?
Well, this is not the first time people have reported that a small orb like that actually encompasses a person when a being shows up or a ghost shows up. The interesting thing about this is the people watching the surveillance footage even talk about how at first they see a being, but then they see two heads come out of the being, and then they realize it's two figures and one must be sort of bleeding into the other. But one thing they also say is once it starts to move to the left, they notice only one is going to the left.
Interesting observations there, Dr. J. Now, let's roll the next one. This is coming in from China. Something happened at 30,000 feet. Watch this.
你怎么处理？啥都不定，然后一问就是跟领导在沟通，发微信在沟通。
看，这啥呀？
There it is. We're looking at this close-up of this UFO that was just captured September 11th over there in China. The person filming there was at the airport. Then they're up 30,000 feet, and they captured this amazing red-orange object moving at amazing speeds. John, what do you make of this?
Every time I see something extremely bright like this, it always reminds me of what Bob Lazar said in 1989. When you have something that has very high voltage, high electricity, and you're in a gaseous atmosphere such as ours, which is mostly nitrogen and oxygen, it produces this glow. So I always tend to believe stuff when I see video like this. And I think it goes back to what's been talked about by many people like Bob Lazar and is seen in so many videos.
I'm doing some enhancements here. It's trying to make out what kind of aircraft this could be, a rocket, a jet fighter, but I'm not seeing any of these indications. We're looking at pure energy right now.
Yeah, I know I always kind of go back to this, but it really seems like a ball of plasma, a ball of light to me. This one obviously red in nature. I mean, it doesn't really seem like it's, a metallic object. It's just this glowing light.
Yeah, the big question is, what is the propulsion behind it? If it's intelligent in its nature, or is it just a random friction of electricity, a ball lightning? I don't think so. This thing seems to have some kind of interest in the airliner, for one, and it is having some kind of cool aerodynamics at the same time there.
Yeah, and recently, just a couple days, they just shut down the major airport there in China too as well. So there's a big mystery. They say there's some UFOs, just like we said, big one coming out of New Orleans. This just happened a couple days ago.
So when we receive weather phenomenon, especially during hurricane activity, it's been happening across the coast of America, and people are dealing with it, but they're also dealing with this. They're looking up in the sky and wondering what the heck is going on. Is this some kind of, I don't know, dare I say it, weather manipulation? I don't know. It just looks really bizarre, but Mother Nature will throw you for a loop if you underestimate it. What do you think we're looking at here, Dr. J? I think meteorologists are going to be tripping on this one for a while.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, if this is something nature's producing, obviously nature shocks us all the time, and this is the first I've ever heard of anything like that. This thing looks sinister. Now, we do know UFOs use cloud cover all the time. There are even UFOs that disguise themselves as clouds that people have filmed all the time. In the early 90s, you may have remembered the Guardian landing case in Canada. That footage, which showed a little bit of smoke coming, but nothing like this. Is this, like you said, technology, or is this natural?
Are you seeing the orbs here too, Brent? Look at these bright plasmic orbs within this spherical red glowing object within the clouds, hiding within the clouds.
Yeah, people could speculate, and I could even speculate too. Could you imagine some sort of craft hidden within the clouds are projecting this light, or could it just be the sun's hitting it directly and creating this beautiful weather phenomenon that we've never seen anything like this? This is incredible. Again, this is right around a huge storm system, and we've been around that too. We've seen a lot of these strange clouds, but this one kind of blows me away.
Yeah, I'm wondering, seeing this, if it's some sort of craft camouflaged by the clouds, like it, hiding behind these clouds and glowing through. But, it kind of does look like maybe it could be some sort of meteorological effect. But the intensity of the brightness of the reds in it is almost unnatural to me.
Guys, we're sharing you the videos right now on Third Phase of Moon. We've got a bunch more coming up. So if you're joining us in this live premiere, make sure you leave your comments and hit that thumbs up. Now, again, what do you think this is? Natural weather phenomenon or something abnormal like what we're looking at right now? Brent, you have some information on this. The new videos of crazy stuff going on above our heads in the cloud layer, not too far away.
Yeah, this one just came in, and it's a good comparison to what just happened in America in New Orleans. We're looking at the same kind of bright, illuminated light of red shining through the clouds, but this one is making a rotation kind of counterclockwise as I'm looking at it. It's pretty amazing. You see the plasma as it kind of dances around in a circle, suspended in the sky. Could this be some sort of, again, new projection, new technology, or a weather phenomenon, or something otherworldly? John, what do you make of this one?
I'm going to play devil's advocate for a bit on this one, because living in Southern California with the wildfires all the time, it's not uncommon to see fire actually with smoke like this start to go in a circle, because as the fire is heating up the air around it, you have the cooler air around it, calling a temperature inversion. But if this isn't fire, then this is clearly something unexplainable.
Yeah, again, the location is France, and this is just recent. So the phenomenon is happening around the planet. Apollo, what do you make of this one?
I'm curious to know what time of day this was being filmed. I mean, it looks like maybe it's early in the evening or earlier in the day. But, what comes to mind for me with all this weather phenomena is also weather modification technologies. I mean, this has been used recently. We know that it's technology that is out there, that's available. So maybe it's something being tested.
The experimental weather program, or again, maybe a hidden craft hiding in the clouds and just looking down upon us. Guys, I want to get your comments. Now, let's roll the next video into Third Phase of Moon. Watch. Once again, we're looking at something in the night sky. It's new. I've never seen anything quite like it. Kind of a tail with this bright illuminated object in front, and it has this rainbow iridescence about it, and we're looking at it right above this neighborhood, and it's just hanging up there. Could it be some kind of kite? I don't know. I don't see kites at night, but maybe if you get a kite and light it up with LED lights, you're going to get this effect. But again, I'm looking at something I haven't seen before. Brent, what do you make of this?
Yeah, definitely call out this as one of ours. Again, new technology. China's coming out with all sorts of stuff. They like their gadgets, their toys, but this one would catch people's eye. If I saw this, I'd film it because I've never seen anything like it. But I'm going to lean towards this being one of ours. John.
About 30 years ago, we had a lot of talk about the aurora, and if everyone remembers, the contrail of that was this donut shaped, like a donut on a rope sort of contrail. And at first, that's what I thought about this. But like Brent just said, this is probably something more recent. Now, also, let me make a point of this. Ever since we started messing with CERN, you know, we've had so much more activity going on. It's denying that, right? But what if by messing with CERN and creating those black holes, things from other realms are starting to appear? So is this ours, or is this just more activity?
You can see that it's just stationary again up there. Is this just having its own propulsion, or is it tethered to the ground? I don't see any tether.
Yeah, you know, that's the first thing I noticed about this video is that it's definitely very stationary. You don't see it moving across the sky, but obviously you see the tail has some movement to it. I'm looking at the light patterns on the tail and the way the light patterns are moving down across the tail, and it really kind of reminds me of different types of lighting that I've seen before for shows and things like that. So I think this is some really amazing, definitely a really cool toy or kite type thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to call that out. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing these videos popping up over and over if somebody has this exact toy. But again, we're looking at it for the first time. So if you're seeing this kind of stuff, maybe we could just squash these kind of sightings and never look at it ever again. But right now I'm seeing something, and I think we could all agree that we're seeing something for the first time here. And if this toy's out coming in from China and we're going to see it all over the place, well, then we'll never share these kind of videos again. But right now it seems very stationary. I don't know if there's this slight breeze of wind creating the tail, and it's just a stationary drone up there. It's still interesting, and it's definitely not a kite. I don't see it undulating left to right. Now, we've been seeing a lot of broad daylight metallic flying saucer videos, but this one we've wanted to pull up. It's been on Thirdphaseofmoon. We're going to bring up the archive of one of these incredible daylight sightings, and when you get a really good close-up look at it, it really does remind you of the Bob Lazar S4 stories of the reverse-engineered craft that he experimented with, apparently. Now, take a look at this video. It pretty much matches up with what Bob Lazar talked about.
This is really interesting. You know, it's just like Bob Lazar said. First of all, if you recall, what he said is there was 3 gravity generators in pretty much every one of the saucers. And when they travel in one way, like on Earth, they use one to get off the ground and the other 2 to point in whatever direction. When they're in space flight, what they'll do is flip up on their side and point all 3 in one direction. This being upside down is actually a way a lot of people report them, and very consistent with what Bob Lazar said. Now, some people are going to say this is a balloon. It is absolutely not, because first of all, it's not aerodynamic for a balloon. A balloon is not flat like that and traveling from left to right. Now, look at it. It is literally a saucer, almost like a flattened acorn. There's no propellers. There's no wings. There's nothing that would make it fly outside of some crazy technology we don't know of.
Yeah, well said there. Here's the pull-up photo, which gives all the detail. You can see it. It's 100% legit. You could analyze this photo right here, and you could tell this is absolutely 100% legit. Now, again, what's the propulsion keeping this thing up in the sky? As soon as that person got that photo, they managed to get the video, which you can see matches directly with the object that we're looking at. What's keeping this up? I don't see no prop propellers, no combustion of any kind, and it's moving rather smoothly. It's not like wobbling in the wind. It seems to have a kind of trajectory in a certain pathway.
Yeah, just going off of what Dr. J said about, basically the anti-gravity being positioned differently in regards to the direction it's moving. It definitely seems to be going a little more downwards, and you can see it almost seems to be upside down when you get the close-up on the photo. From this angle, it kind of looks like more round, but I think what we're seeing here is the bottom of the craft. But then here, like as you zoom up, you see that it kind of has, the dish shape that, these kind of craft normally have, but it seems that the top part, it seems to be upside down.
No, we're looking at this. You can see the shadows, the refraction of light. It's just interesting to look at these kind of craft. And again, they're being spotted all across the planet. And sometimes it could be like a balloon, some people might say. If you look up way up high in the sky and you see this kind of just a black dot, but when you take photos and you manage to capture these images, then you could enhance it, and then it kind of reveals something altogether different. Like, let's pull this photo up once again. You can see how far it is, and it's going to come up in just 1 second. And if you're looking at this with your naked eye right here, see how far it is, and then you zoom up, and then it really reveals its true nature. This is kind of interesting stuff here. Dr. J?
It's really cool that you could zoom in with such high definition these days. This thing is absolutely nothing we have on this planet, and that would be able to fly in such a smooth way. Look at it. I mean, it is seamless. Also, if you look very closely at the edges of this craft, you see a tiny bit of fuzz, and I'll tell you why I think that is. That looks like the distortion from the technology.
Right now, take a look. Coming out of China, a series of lights or a massive craft. Right, the video only lasts for a few moments. We would have liked to see it leave out of sight, but look, we're looking at it. It's the evidence. It's coming in, so we're sharing it. And we're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow lights and a bright white orb in the middle. Are we looking at a massive craft over the town somewhere in China? What the heck is going on here?
Yeah, Blake, this is pretty good. The quality is a little soft, I gotta admit, but the detail and the quality of just the sighting is impressive itself. We're seeing, like Blake just said, the series of lights with that bright illuminated white orb right in the middle of it. It almost has this triangular shaped craft look to it. You can see kind of maybe an edge around the left and the right side of it, creating maybe an effect of a full craft.
Yeah, are we looking at the hull of a craft? If this is indeed one massive UFO, I'd have to say it's at least, I don't know, half a football-sized or a football stadium-sized craft up there in the sky. Vector shape, unknown, some kind of possible TR-3B reverse-engineered craft, or are we looking at something otherworldly? That's the big question. And I'm asking you right now, people from around the world tuning into this live premiere, what do you think it is? Now buckle up, we've got a lot more UFO videos in tonight, so let's roll the next one. Take a look. All right, we're gonna roll this once again, get some close-up enhancements. You can see the birds flying around. This thing is off at a distance. I don't think this is some kind of sunset. We're looking at something very, very strange. Is this some kind of natural weather phenomenon or some kind of portal off the horizon there? Incredible stuff. We're adding some brightness contrast right now to make whatever this thing pop, but look at the size of this thing. I would have to say this is one of the most massive UFO sightings I've seen. This has to be at least the size of a building.
Yeah, or maybe much larger. If that's at the crest of the ocean, as the circumference of the Earth turns, we're seeing basically something at the far distance. And something's right in the foreground, this circular formation in front of the light. And then you see these two kind of other dots on the top left and right of it too as well. It's very curious. Again, this video was captured on the coast of China off a cruise ship, and we're looking at something that baffles the mind. Again, could this just be natural phenomenon? It could be, and definitely this is worth sharing because we love natural phenomenon that nobody's ever seen on the planet, and this one's executing that.
You know, when I'm looking at these UFO sightings coming in from around the world, it seems that there's a rise in the phenomenon right now, and it's going on 24/7, and it's hard to explain what exactly is going on. That's the purpose of Third Phase of Moon. We're sharing you videos that we really can't explain. We're speculating here. We're not experts. We're just experts at delivering you the fastest UFO videos coming in as people shoot it across our skies. And we're looking at something that, again, can't be explained. Guys, do you have any opinions? Please leave your comments and let us know what you think it is, because right now we're looking at something, again, like I said, very strange. I don't think, again, this is a sunset and maybe a cloud blocking off the sun, creating this illusion. What we're looking at is some kind of, I don't know, an energy form. And it's bright, it's massive, and again, it's off at a distance. And like you said, around the circumference of the Earth, this has to be miles out, and this has to be massive. I don't know, 300, 500 feet, maybe even taller. It's hard to tell, but it's quite amazing. Now, more UFO videos coming into Third Phase of Moon. Let's roll the next one right now. Take a look at this.
There it is. I got it. I got it. It's gone again. I got it.
All right, let's get a closer look. Whatever this craft is, it's moving extremely fast. Look at this. It undulates up and down, kind of disappears behind the cloud layer, and it is extremely bright. This isn't some kind of meteor. And look at it. Did it just change directions? Again, the performance of this vehicle, if it is intelligently designed, it is extraordinary. This is something straight out of the UAP UFO files that are unexplained. Congress needs to be asking bigger questions, bringing forth better videos. So far, we've only seen the Tic Tac, the gimbal, the Go Fast. Third Phase of Moon has put out tens of thousands of videos captured by people like you around the world, and we're sharing again something that can't be explained. Look at the illumination on this craft. It kind of undulates, disappears behind the clouds. Are we looking at some ball lightning here, or are we looking at something extraterrestrial, Brent?
Yeah, that's a big question right there. What I like about this sighting is you could see as this thing kind of traverses from left to right, it almost ramps up the speed and it picks up the motion, and you can see it right there go behind the clouds, and then it does this incredible bank right at the end where it just kind of just freezes and stops. You could almost see this kind of like apparition or like wings on the side of it, some sort of like just distortion behind this ball of light. There it goes. It stops, stalls, and then here it comes, and then it just banks straight to the left. It's incredible. I just love this because we're seeing capabilities here that it's kind of it's just unidentified. We don't know what it is. Could it be some sort of high performance drone? If it's so far up there banking up against the clouds, this thing's pretty far away and it's moving extremely fast.
Yeah, I'm having to speculate here as it kind of reversed its direction. If there were an occupant within this craft, it would have been slammed up against the wall, or even the craft itself would have deconstructed under the pressure. So we're looking at something that seemingly defies the laws of physics. And when we add a little bit of brightness, contrast, and a little bit of sepia color, this thing really pops. But like you said, Brent, there are these little appendages that almost seem like they're wings, but again, it's just hard to say. Let me pull up the enhanced version of this right now. Did you guys see that? It almost had this shadow effect of wings on the bottom and top of it, but then it just faded out. So it's just very bizarre what we're looking at. And again, the flight performance of this craft is mind-boggling. So again, like we say right here at Third Phase of Moon, it's unexplained. And guys, if you have any opinions, please let's hear it. And again, this brightness, contrast, sepia color really shows this illuminated craft. You see the appendage kind of move up and down. It almost seems lifelike, almost like a life form, biological. It's hard to say. Now let's get to the next video coming in. Guys, behold more of the phenomenon happening right now.
What in the Chevrolet fuck is that?
All right, we're gonna play it in reverse. Did you just see what we thought we saw? Look at this thing. It seems that a transformer blew out. We have this electrical disturbance on the power line. And what people are observing here, people are stating that they're looking at some kind of angelic being with wings. Is this some pareidolia going on and a lens flare? Probably. But again, it is incredible what we're looking at. It almost seems that there's a figure up there holding a staff. You can see the arm, you can see the figure, and then its wings spread out like an angel.
Yeah, let's take a look at this again. There you go. You see the sparks off the line, and the bam, everything just disappears. Let's watch this again as this phenomenon appears on camera. There it is. And like you can see the wings, it looks like a wing effect. Could it be maybe a prism off the lens itself? Maybe kind of like a lens flare reflecting off the light that we're seeing. Or I could just throw this out there too. I'm maybe a little skeptical on this, because when we see the object or the figure itself, it has a little jitter. And I'm not sure, is this attached via After Effects or is this the real deal?
I don't know, Brent. I'm looking at this pretty closely. It seems that there is a flicker effect, but it's consistent with this electrical energy charge skipping across the lines, and it's flickering pretty much at the exact same time as the charge of electricity is creating this burst of power. And the refractions of wings with the iridescence, it seems pretty legitimate here. Again, are we looking at something biblical or something otherworldly? I don't know. It's just, again, very strange what we're looking at. And with this kind of heavy power of current through the lines, it could be creating this an illusion of an angelic being skimming across the lines.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's play it in reverse again. I do believe that what we're seeing here, the effect of the power line having a discharge is in fact 100% real. I'm still leaning on this. Again, this figure could have been superimposed into the shot, but if it's not, then we're looking at something real special that needs to be shared. Definitely people are going to look into this and say this is some sort of a biblical or angelic being, maybe an angel appearing in the sky above those power lines. Or could it just be a pareidolia effect and some sort of electricity sparking and creating this illusion in camera?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Brett. I think it's in-house, and you could hear from the person's reaction that they're like, what the heck did I just see? Because people are out there, they're looking for lightning. Maybe there was some kind of electrical disturbance, got the person's attention, they started filming, then bam, this happened. And the transformer blows out, and the surge of power creates this illusion. And sometimes maybe some people might say that there's different realms of these beings that are surrounding us every day. And are we looking at something, again, paranormal or biblical? Or, again, maybe just something natural, and it just has this look of an angelic being with these wings spread out across its arch of its back there. Again, quite interesting stuff. Guys, what do you think? Again, it's really important that you leave your comments. If you have any opinions of what you're looking at tonight, it helps the algorithm right here at Third Phase of Moon. Now, we've got a lot of videos coming in from around the world, and we wanted to share it with you. So let's roll the next one right now. Okay, let's watch this once again. It's a security camera, obviously, and what people are stating is that there's some kind of animal that morphs into a human being, all caught on this security cam. And we're looking at it. We're going to get some close-up enhancements. Again, a lot of bizarre stuff going on around the world. You can see, let's get a close-up. You can see the iridescence of the eyes of some kind of animal, maybe a dog, a big cat, and then it morphs into this walking humanoid figure, just kind of walking up the street, stumbling along. Very ominous, very strange. Are we looking at some kind of man that can transform back and forth to an animal? I don't know. It's strange, and people are speculating that's exactly what we're looking at here.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. People could speculate all they want. All I know is what I'm seeing right here. Indeed, it looks like we have this animal kind of creeping along as it moves, and then we can see, like Blake just said, the iridescence of light. It goes behind some bushes there. It makes a little jump, and then here we go. You could see him almost come off his knees and then fully stand up straight as he lumbers along. This is really good.
Now we have a photograph that is coming in from the Canadian government, and they're saying they're unveiling for the first time of a UFO captured by a pilot. We're looking at the photograph, and this was captured some years ago, but there's a video that is in Third Phase of Moon's archive that we've had out, and it kind of brought to memory the exact same thing. So right now, Canada is releasing this photograph. But again, if you look at the Third Phase of Moon evidence, we're showing you extreme video of the exact same thing. Look at this.
Pájaros. Hostia, ¿qué cojones? Es que sí, ¿qué cojones es eso? Son putos ovnis, hermano.
¡Hostia puta! Oh.
¿Dónde están?
Ahí.
Ahí, sí, se ven. Al final. Estoy grabando uno. Hostia, qué puta pasada, ¿qué coño es eso? Hermano. Luego decís que no existen, hijos de la gran puta.
¿Qué?
Dios, ahí al final. Pájaros.
All right, let's look at this once again. Multiple lights in the sky moving at an extreme rate of speed next to a double rainbow. It really doesn't get much better than this. Broad daylight. What are we looking at? Look at these things just traverse in and out of the clouds around the spectrum of the rainbow itself. It's just quite incredible when people are out there looking at rainbows, just weather phenomenon that happens almost every day, but then you see UFOs at the same time. This is incredible stuff here.
Yeah, pretty incredible. Gorgeous sighting, by the way. We're looking at these array of lights dancing in the sky, making these erratic moves. They're not in formation. They're not typically just moving straight. They're making these awkward angles that really doesn't make sense. Again, we had to add a lot of brightness, contrast in this to make it pop, and you could see it right there next to the rainbows, just kind of dancing and moving in these really awesome maneuvers.
Yeah, with the brightness contrast that I added, it really highlights these orbs of light just basically dancing, swimming in the sky. And it's just interesting. I'm rolling out any kind of drone here or anything that's mundane. What we're looking at is absolutely a stunning footage of an aerial display of the unknown, and that's what we like right here at Third Phase of Moon. Now, we've got a lot of UFOs in this episode tonight, so buckle up. Let's roll the next one right now. Take a look at this. It's an extremely fast clip, but we're talking about fast. We're watching something that is moving once again at an extraordinary rate of speed. It's hard to see. It almost has like this invisible layer around it, but you make out something just cutting through the clouds at an extreme rate of speed. What's going on with these fast movers nowadays?
Yeah, just like the last video, now we're looking at kind of the same phenomenon. These transparent, illuminated craft that move at extraordinary rates of speed. Again, it's a little hard to see, but when you do kind of make out what you're looking at and wrap your mind about how fast this thing's moving, we're looking at something very strange, a UFO, a phenomenon, maybe something otherworldly. I don't think this is one of ours.
Guys, we want to get your opinions in this live premiere, comments. It really helps the algorithm right here at YouTube in getting the word out. We're going to also supply the original link to this episode in this live chat. Share it on your social media. Let's get to the next video coming in to Third Phase. All right, I like this one. It looks like a truck driver driving on the highway. They're always out there driving, keeping their eyes peeled. And thanks to all you truck drivers keeping your eye out. But this one, broad daylight, we're looking at an upside down metallic pyramid just hovering there in the sky. This is crazy stuff.
Yeah, he's driving and filming at the same time and getting a really good shot of this. We're going to get a close-up just to see exactly what we're looking at here. The details there. This exactly, like you just said, Blake, looks like a upside down pyramid. If that's what it is, if it's metallic and has no means of propulsion, then we're looking at something incredible. Could this be maybe possibly some sort of a weather balloon or a balloon itself? I don't see no gondola at the bottom. So what is this thing?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a close-up shot. Here it is. It's really giving really good detail of what we're looking at, and it just defies any kind of balloon that I would say that would be commercial or anything like somebody would be piloting this. It's quite big, and like you said, Brett, no gondola, and it has these really sharp angles on it. It's definitely an upside down triangle, and who knows what it is. Maybe it's the TR-3B. It's just kind of hovering there. And again, these people that are out on the freeway just driving and capturing a UFO at the same time, that's pretty incredible stuff there.
Yeah, we've seen the triangles over Moscow and some of that stuff, and I could admit most of those are all CGI. What we're looking at here is 100% real. Again, it's just a big question. What's there in the sky just floating there? It's massive, too, at the same time. It's not small. It's probably maybe as large as one of these big rigs that you see on the freeway itself. Again, fascinating sighting, 100%. I'm going to lay down. This is no CGI. It's there, whatever it is, floating there in the sky. More UFO videos coming up. We're so excited about this episode. Check it out.
There it is. UFO. UFO. Freaking UFO. Unreal. Dude, it's so crazy. What the f? And then there's something in front of it, too, that's white, that's going at the same speed. Dude! This is going like 100 miles an hour. Dude! I have never seen anything. This is not a blimp. This is a plane. What the
Once again, it's interesting. We have people driving and filming UFOs at the same time, back to back, and you could hear it in the man's voice. He's excited. He's swearing, and I don't blame him. When he sees something crazy for the first time, you just don't know how you're going to react, and that's justifiable. And what we're looking at here, I was thinking it could have been maybe some kind of banner being towed by a Cessna, you know, these advertisement banners flying all over cities across America, but I'm not seeing anything in front of this black object. We're trying to get a really close up, and I'm not seeing anything tugging this thing. So whatever it is, I think it's its own individual craft.
Yeah, almost looks like a magic carpet. You can see it just floating, kind of undulating in the sky, moving from right to left. The guy, you hear it in his voice. He's super excited. Kind of sounds like a surfer dude. But anyway, you can just hear in his voice that he's dumbfounded about what he's looking at in the sky. He does make a note that he sees something else in front of it. Maybe we're just not getting enough detail to prove that there is a Cessna tugging this thing, but let's just say if there's no plane tugging whatever this craft is, or a blanket, then we're looking at something that's really special.
Yeah, it has no business being up there, especially in a city like this. And you can see it just disappear behind the building. I'm not sure if this is a stationary craft moving left to right, or are we getting a little parallax as he's driving, filming this stationary object, creating an illusion that it's moving. So again, it's interesting. It's broad daylight. We don't know what it is. And then that's why we're sharing it with you. Guys, leave your comments. What do you think's going on in this video right now? Let's get to the next UFO sighting coming in. I told you there's a lot of them.
It's a UFO. Shit. In New York City, yo, look at the birds.
So right here, New York City, we're receiving this video, and people are speculating that there's some kind of massive UFO over the Big Apple. What are we looking at here? Some people are saying that this could be a building kind of shrouded behind a big fog mist and creating this illusion of a flying object with some spotlights on top of the high rise. But I'm not sure. Anybody familiar with this area that confirm this would be great. But right now it could be something massive in the sky over the city there.
Yeah, you could hear the guys. They're screaming. They're saying UFO, and then it has this bright undulating light that kind of just sparks up the whole place, and it gets them really excited. I think these guys are confused on what they're seeing. It's kind of a foggy night, and maybe they're reading more into this. In my opinion, this is just an array of lights attached to the building, progressing with a nice fluorescent show of light, probably trying to emulate a UFO landing too at the same time, and capture people's attention. Again, in my opinion, this is probably something mundane, but cool. If I saw this, I'd film it too.
Yeah, shoot first, ask questions later when it comes to UFOs. Just don't ask any questions. Just start filming, and then maybe we could find out together. So we're asking you, is this some kind of craft up in the sky? Or is this some high rise with an illusion of lights displaying a simulation of UFO? That's what we're trying to find out right here at Third Phase Moon. Maybe we'll have an update for you tomorrow in the next episode, Saturday night. Don't forget. Now, let's roll the next one. Take a look.
Wow. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Wow. Here. What?
All right, this came into our email just moments ago, so we decided just to roll with it on Third Phase, and again, ask questions right away and maybe get answers tomorrow. We have some speculation with regards to this video that apparently is going viral right now, and a lot of big channels are picking up on this. So people asked us, what do we think at Thirdphaseofmoon? And we're listening and watching this video very closely, and there's just something very fishy about it. We're going to go over some of the audio again, but what's your giveaway on this one, just with regards to the video that we're watching right now, Brent?
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular. It looks good, but then again, there's some qualities to it that kind of throw me off. But let's go with the audio first. If you listen to it right in the beginning, basically the people aren't even talking about a UFO in the sky. I think it's an inserted audio from an eclipse that happened, and who knows where that got introduced to, but it doesn't match. And then even when you hear the lens move, and you could hear the motors running within the camera itself, it doesn't match up when the camera stops.
Yeah, good call there, Brent. And again, there was just something very fishy. Obviously, it's spectacular footage if this to be true, but according to what we're looking at, we're deeming this some kind of hoax. Just listen to this video once again.
Wow. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Here.
What?
Yeah, if you listen very closely, you could actually hear one of the people saying that you could see the Bailey's bead, and this is a phenomenon that comes off a major solar eclipse. So I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it is authentic footage and that somebody just added this audio, but to me that is a red flag for some suspicion that this isn't authentic, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's another one that just dropped today too that people brought to our attention, and we might just share that one tomorrow as well, Saturday, because I think it's probably from the same maker of this particular hoax, in my opinion. So that's interesting. I think there's somebody out there that's trying to drop UFOs around the moon that's not exactly legitimate. We got more UFO videos. This one's coming out of Sedona, Arizona. Plethora of UFOs fall from the sky. Check it out.
Yep. 2 of them coming down. 2 of them coming down. 2 of them. Okay, they're starting to come in. Do you see that? Wow.
Whoa.
Shit.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and there's one's coming in, going down, and one's coming up.
Two going up, 2 going down.
They don't make noises.
Well, remember, we could be real far away.
Okay, yeah, they're coming in now.
5 miles or 10 miles.
They're coming in now.
And by the way, crafts are always silent.
They're coming back in.
We've been seeing this, since we got out there, but one coming down.
Yep.
So pretty good stuff here. Sedona, Arizona is known to be a hotspot for UFOs, and apparently Melinda Leslie shared this fascinating footage, and this was captured in 2024 of June, and they stated that they saw all these incredible lights. They're out there looking for UFOs, and they captured this with their night vision. I like it when a group of people go out there, look for the phenomenon, and actually able to capture it. You could hear in their voices, they're kind of stunned. They're saying they don't hear a thing. These things are off at a distance. Again, we're not getting too much detail. They're just lights in the sky, but apparently in this area, this happens all the time.
Yeah, it's a good capture. These guys are out there trying to capture the phenomenon, and then this happens. You're going to be stunned. You're going to be ecstatic when you see these lights just drop out. I was trying to look to see if there's maybe a plane that parachuters from the sky, but I don't see a plane leaving the vantage point of this camera shot. All I'm seeing is a bunch of lights kind of circle around each other, kind of in a nice formation. They're not erratic. They're kind of smooth and undulating as it descend down to the ground. Some even get brighter. Could it be a bunch of parachuters with maybe some lights on it that's creating this illusion within the night vision camera? That's a possibility.
Yeah, apparently there's been some study on this, and there are some lights that have been confirmed to be triple blinking lights belonging to military helicopters, and other moving lights that still remain unidentified, mysterious. So again, you have a little bit of military and UFO at the same time. I think this is good evidence of them interacting with each other, actually probably working with each other. Another video coming in from the lunar surface, and we're looking at it right now. Take a look. Something emerges from a crater off the lunar surface, and it's not of this world. Apparently, we're looking at something quite incredible. It's casting a shadow on this massive crater, and it traverses across at a high rate of speed and disappeared. We're looking at it once again. It only lasts for approximately 25-30 seconds, but we're looking at it, and we're going to get some really good close-ups of this thing. Again, last night we shared with you a similar video that looks very close to what we're looking at tonight. Are we looking at something that is a major hoax made by a person putting it out on the internet, and we're looking at another rendered edition from this person who's putting this stuff out and claiming it to be real? Brett, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, Blake, that's what we're going to speculate tonight. I'm believing this is coming from the same artist. He's really good at what he does. And as I mentioned last night, we're going to share this video, and he does the same technique. You could hear the motor of the engine as it's zooming in. We had to cut out the audio because there was some background music in there that would have gave us a claim, so we had to go and silence this one, unfortunately. But if you go to last night's video, you're going to hear this exact duplicate zoom, and again, it's kind of a telltale sign that this is an obvious hoax, but it looks really good. People are going to believe this. It's going to be shared around the world, and people are going to actually believe that we're looking at some sort of craft exiting the crater of the lunar surface.
You know, when I'm thinking back to the archives of major amateur astronomers out there, the major amount of videos that come into Third Phase Moon, I think we should just do an episode with regards to real anomalies, UFOs, unidentified flying objects, maybe military, secret Space Force stuff in and around the moon, on the lunar surface. We have tons of evidence. I think we should dedicate a whole episode to some incredible stuff that have been coming over the years, over a decade of evidence with regards to the mysterious moon. Now, more videos just in. Take a look at this.
Sei lá.
Olha o pessoal olhando.
O povo tudo olhando. Que porra é essa, louco?
Nossa.
É doido, hein? Sei lá.
Right, let's look at this once again, and I call this 100% legitimate footage. We're looking at some kind of cigar-shaped craft. At one time, one moment in the video, it's illuminated, and then moments later, it turns into a black cylindrical object. And this is quite interesting stuff that we're looking at. You can see that the people are really having a hard time trying to capture it. Again, capturing UFOs while driving at the same time, it's a bit tricky, but I still say they did a really good job managing to capture the phenomenon here, Brent.
Yeah, whatever it is, it caught these guys' eyes, and they're definitely experiencing a UFO phenomenon right there. It's up there in the sky, probably about maybe 100, 150 50 feet up there, and you can see it's quite large, and it's just hovering. If this thing's metallic, if this is a metallic cylindrical object just floating there without any means of propulsion, this is amazing footage. Could it be maybe some sort of balloon? I don't see that. It's not bending. It seems cylindrical. It seems solid.
Yeah, guys, I want to get your opinions right now on this live Third Phase of Moon premiere going on right now. It really helps the algorithm. But yeah, I just like the way it changes colors from really bright illuminated bright light, and then it turns into this black shadowy cigar shape. It's crazy. Again, more videos into Third Phase. Watch this.
I'm trying to get that.
Green carrots floating in space.
Do you know, it's got like a laser on me.
What is
That's the maddest shit I've ever
I
seen.
think it's a laser beam. I think I just placed it. What's your head?
Caris, I'm gonna leave you there, is that alright?
See? Nice, alright.
Oh, shit, fucking sorry. I'm trying to get that.
Green carrots.
All right, a family experiencing something that they can't explain. Look at this. A cylindrical, bright, illuminated green object coming just behind the rooftops in the neighborhood. And they're managing to capture, again, something that we can't explain. What are we looking at? Some propped up drone? Or are we looking at something otherworldly? Because right now, it's really exciting what's going on in our skies. That's why we're doing so many episodes lately. Just the material's off the hook here.
Yeah, just the way we like it. Again, if everybody's enjoying this episode, smash that thumbs up. But my opinion of this, I really liked the girl. She says it could be a spaceship, and that's exactly right. We're seeing this disc-like saucer with green lights just traversing over the rooftops of this neighborhood. The guy says it's a laser. I'm not sure what he meant by that. Maybe somebody in the neighborhood was pointing a laser at this thing. Who knows? But again, mysterious footage. I would like it to be longer, but this is a good example of the unidentified phenomenon happening.
Yeah, and you're looking really quick. There's this other flash of light bouncing up and down to the right, to the left. You see it right there? I think that's just a refraction of light coming off the street light. But what's behind the street light and the rooftops, I can't tell you. Crazy stuff. Now let's check out the next one right now. We've seen the Jellyfish Jetpack Man. I don't care what you call it, but here's some photos that have just come across our table today. And we shared with you just maybe about 2-3 weeks ago the jellyfish captured in Miami on a door cam. But apparently these photos are captured at the infamous Area 51. We were there just about 10-11 months ago, and we put up an episode with regards to the mysterious base. Are we looking at some kind of test prototype of the new jetpack man? Or I know we've been seeing it in the skies over Los Angeles. People are seeing it next to LAX, next to major airports, and it's at 30,000 feet sometimes. So is this something that is being, coming in from the base itself, and we're looking at it right there at the front gates?
Yeah, it could be the new tech security drone with some sort of means of propulsion that keeps it levitated the way it is. But this thing's ominous. You're looking at it. It has this kind of an alien kind of a head, the one that you see in the movies. It's elongated with this kind of short leg but longer arm kind of humanoid figure. And it's wrapped around in all sorts of armor. Again, this apparently was captured from a drone pilot near the base of Area 51, right out the gates where we're there. Like Blake said, about 11 months ago, we're familiar with the area. If I saw this, I'd film it and I wouldn't stop. Again, it's right next to the security guard base there. Is this some sort of correlation? Are they working together with this new prototype drone?
Yeah, I would speculate that obviously they're experimenting with stuff out there. And are we experimenting with jetpacks and unmanned vehicles, or is this something that we have a person inside piloting it, or is this totally just autonomous? These are questions that we want to get answers to. But once again, crystal clear videos, or actually stills, apparently coming from a drone. Brent, is there a video from this that you're aware of?
That's a big question. I sure would like to see it. I want to see this thing move in the environment and how it reacts with the ground, if you could see any kind of dust kicking off of it, or all the above. That's why I'm still a little bit on the fence on this, because we don't have the moving video. Where's the drone footage?
that's something we're hoping we get to see, and we will share it with you as soon as we get it. But again, I still think we're looking at something authentic, even though there's still photographs, and we could easily, people out there could easily Photoshop this image into it. I still, everything kind of matches up. The angle of light, the shadows, the color between the background, the foreground, and the object itself, everything is matching up perfectly. So in my opinion, I think there's probably video floating out there. We're just waiting to see that drop. And if whoever captured this, please reach out to Third Phase Moon and let's get some information behind what was captured that day at the front gates of Area 51. I think this is actually the back gate, the second back gate entrance, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to check out our video that we shot 11 months ago. Take a look. It's something about Area 51. We checked out Area 51 in the title, but again, take a look at this. So in last night's episode that we put up on Friday, we were wanting to showcase this extremely fast mover, this UFO, and we accidentally, we cropped it out, and we blew up the image so much we didn't get to see the UFO. But here it is in its full glory. We wanted to make sure that you get to see this phenomenal video coming into Third Phase of Moon, and whatever it is, it's cutting through the clouds at extreme rates of speed, and again, it has this plasmic field around it at one point, and then turns into this black shadow that looks to me like a solid craft moving very fast. Are we looking at something biological, something not of this world, or is this some kind of drone beyond anything that we could get commercially? Even the military, I don't think, has this kind of stuff unless it's above top secret stuff.
Yeah, this is a pretty wild footage. I'm glad we're seeing it. Now we're getting a good glimpse of exactly what we're talking about. This kind of translucent object with kind of this bright moment right there, and then it kind of fades into this darker color and kind of gets, again, transparent almost as it shoots through the clouds and it comes out. That's what I find pretty wicked about this video. And again, the rate of speed that it's traversing is pretty incredible.
I'm not looking at this and seeing anything that indicates manipulation. Again, we've got tens of thousands of authentic videos coming in from around the world, and I think we're looking at something right here that is definitely showcasing aerial capabilities that are still unknown in our world as we know it today. I think in 1947, things changed. There was a shift. We were going in the road, the direction of the cartoon, the Jetsons, but they turned it back. They switched back the dial and said, "Oh no, you're not going to get this yet." And I got a feeling some of the propulsion out there has been harnessed from 1947 and is being used in today's world by us, our own private corporations. And there was a crazy flying saucer encounter captured in Napa Valley, and we wanted to showcase this broad daylight UFO sighting of the typical Bob Lazar flying disc, metallic, the propulsion unknown. I guess, what was it, element 115? Who knows what's the propulsion behind it? Let's find out. Let's get it to the world. But we wanted to share this video again of the evidence that has been coming into Third Phase Moon for a long time, and I think you're going to enjoy this one. Again, the broad daylight, it doesn't really get much better than this, and it's as clear as it gets. Steady hands. Somebody knows how to shoot a video, and you want to capture something good, take notes right here. And if you captured it, don't hesitate, upload it to YouTube. Now, let's get into this one. The incredible broad daylight flying saucer, Napa Valley. Watch this. This was captured in Napa Valley. Dolores notices something in the sky, something silent. She pulls over. She captures this. Take a look. Dolores is stunned in silence as she captures this incredible display of what looks to be a metallic flying saucer. Welcome back, everybody. We have a few updates from a possible nuclear explosion on the moon and the world gearing up for an alien invasion in 2017. But before we get to that, I want to go over this video. We have Brent Cousins here, and wow, what are we looking at? A broad daylight capture. A classic flying saucer. It doesn't look like a drone, in my opinion. No prop propellers of any kind. CGI, I gotta rule it out. Whatever she captured in Napa Valley looks very genuine to me. Brent, what do you make of this?
Like, I like the way she puts in her description. She parked her minivan on the side of the road. She pulled her iPhone and bam, this thing flies right over her. And she captures it with some good detail. She keeps her hand steady. Good job, Dolores. And what we're looking at is something simply mind-blowing. This is incredible. It does definitely look like a disc. And if people say it's a drone, well, I ask you, if you look at drones, typical drones, they fly by, and if they come to a stop, the body of itself will actually oscillate. This thing stays dead center. There is no oscillation. This thing's solid. Whatever's propelling it, it seems like it's holding itself within the craft, some sort of body of energy, what propels a UFO.
Absolutely. You see some kind of energy source coming off the bottom of this thing. Could this be the power source of whatever is making this seem to defy gravity? It is defying gravity, in my opinion. Dolores states that there is no sound whatsoever, and you could hear in the video, she's very silent. She states in an email that she sent me that she was very, very concerned, and she didn't want to bring any attention to it, so she kept mum during this capture. Dolores also says she had a pretty good perspective on how large this craft was as it passed over her car. There's some trees in foreground and in the background, so she estimates it to be about the size of a small SUV, just about big enough to hold 1 or 2 people in it. So whatever it is, it's not that big, but it is impressive. Also, she states it zoomed by and over the car, and that was the last she saw of it. Wow, Dolores, thank you for submitting your incredible footage. I'd have to say it is one of the best flying saucer broad daylight sightings I've ever seen, and I hope the world shares this right now. Also, if you were in the Napa Valley and you saw something like this past month, submit your videos to Third Phase Moon. We want to see it.
Absolutely, and we want to share it to the world. And also, we've been really humbled by the people that are buying right now and reading the comic book series. All 4 of them is available right now. Battle for Disclosure, Volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. They tell a story that is incredible. That's right, Battle for Disclosure, available right now on Amazon. Get your hard copy or digital Kindle download. The links are below. Battle for Disclosure. It's been a wild ride producing all 4 issues. And let me tell you, it's rivaling what's really going on in our world with regards to disclosure, but just a little bit on steroids. But pretty much how disclosure would roll out. And it's a game changer. Battle for Disclosure. Make sure you order your copies right now. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies. Be safe. Blake Cousins. We'll see you next time.
We'll catch y'all later.